So we have something today that we thought was pretty uniquely in our scene thing. And after doing a little bit of research, I realized just kind of what a bubble I and maybe we all were living in 10th grade. This really felt like a Fall Out Boy Panic at the Disco trend, but it's been going on for a lot longer than that. There are song titles longer than Fall Out Boy could ever even dream of, and album names that even put all those to shame. We're doing the super unnecessarily long song title draft, and there's a lot to talk about. So I'm pretty pumped.
So you're saying they're long?
They're so long.
How long are they?
So long.
So you're saying they're short?
No.
Oh, I think I'm getting it. You're saying they're long.
God, just like this intro. Let's
I'm
start
sorry.
the show.
Start it. Play it. It's over.
What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast. All right, so I was going to make the joke. This is the super long song title draft, a.k.a. the Fall Out Boy draft. But yeah, I've come across a lot of stuff I wouldn't have expected to find in other genres. I don't know why I thought like we were the gatekeepers of long song names, but do you want to hear some of the other ones that exist out there, Pat?
I'd love to.
Okay. So the longest song name is a song by Christine Lavin from the album Future Fossils in 1994. Okay. Regretting what I said to you when you called me at 11 on a Friday morning to tell me at 1 Friday afternoon you're going to leave your office, go downstairs, hail a cab to go out to the airport and catch a plane to go skiing in the Alps for 2 weeks. Not that I wanted to go with you. I wasn't able to leave town. I'm not a very good skier. I couldn't expect you to pay my way, but after going out with you for 3 years, I don't like surprises. Subtitled, A Musical Apology.
I didn't quite catch that. Could you read that again?
Like, it's a bummer starting the show with that because we're not even going to come close to anything like that. That is 452 characters, really pushing the limits of what 2 whole tweets will get you. That's a thread right there.
Truly wild stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing I think I could add was that I too was trying to like own this as a special 2000 scene thing. But immediately ran into like Pink Floyd 1969, quote, several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pict, end quote. So yeah, not super special or originated. I think there was a Reddit thread that tried to trace the origins of the long song title stuff and mentioned some bands like Nation of Ulysses and Angel Hair and Rye Coalition from the 90s and tried to like link it to some of the like early punk, you know, kind of into emo stuff, and maybe those were the roots. But I think it'd be stretching to even do that. I do think that there was a moment. I think we all lived in that moment, and if you're here, you appreciated that moment. But I don't know, Tom, I don't want to just like swing this wild, crazy gavel or anything, but I'm not sure we can claim it, but it was definitely weird, and it was definitely fun, and I'm excited to explore the insane examples.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So that the one that I said earlier was 97 words, the longest song title. The second longest song title dropped down to 52, and there's like this interesting, I don't know, anecdote about how the Guinness World Book of Records just stopped at the year 1945 for the longest song title. They just, I don't know, couldn't keep up with it. They recognize the world's longest song title as Hoagie Carmichael's song from 1945. I'm a cranky old Yank in a clanky old town on the streets of Yokohama with my Honolulu mama doing those Beto, flat on my Cedo, Hito blues. And
so you're saying it's long.
And apparently it keeps dropping down further. The longest song title of a hit song from a modern major recording artist is Elton John's Can You Feel the Love Tonight? which is a little more reasonable. So none of these like superly massive song titles are really doing numbers. I guess we're coming to see, but Fiona Apple and Chumbawamba have some album titles. Do you want to hear them, Pat? They're long. They are very long.
So they're short.
Chumbawamba in 2008. They have an album that is abbreviated to The Boy Bands Have Won. And the whole name of the album is The Boy Bands Have Won, and all the copyists and the tribute bands and the TV talent show producers have won. If we allow our culture to be shaped by mimicry, whether from lack of ideas or from exaggerated respect, you should never try to freeze culture. What you can do is recycle that culture. Take your older brother's hand-me-down jacket and restyle it, refashion it to the point where it becomes your own. But don't just regurgitate creative history or hold art and music and literature as fixed, untouchable, and kept under glass. The people who try to guard any particular form of music are, like the copyists and manufactured bands, doing it the worst disservice, because the only thing that you can do to music that will damage it is not change it, not make it your own, because then it dies, then it's over, then it's done, and the boy bands have won. And ladies and gentlemen, that is from 2008. I think this album title may have predicted the whole Olivia Rodrigo scandal with Paramore. Anyways, why? Why would anyone name something? Is it like, do you think it is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a publicity stunt?
Going that long, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would, sure. I mean, I guess you couldn't fit it in a tweet. It would have been maybe the wrong year for that. I forget when Twitter may or may not have started, but yeah. But I think I felt like like man down. Like the show itself just talks about, kind of the theme for this week was like, hey, this thing was ours. And I think the more we do the show, the more we realize none of what happened into the 2000s was ours or theirs or anything. I guess we made it weird enough to be like unique in a certain sense, but
right.
It's all, everything works in cycles and everything like that. So even the Killers, like existence, drew from, everyone has like influences and everything like that. So it's kind of tough to, I don't know. I hate to say it sucked the air out of the room, but it was long enough to demand your attention. That's for sure. No, yes. I still want to continue on with the episode, even though now I'm feeling like maybe we shouldn't. But yes, no, I think that says it all.
Yeah, I mean, the last note there was...
Put it on my freaking gravestone, man.
Have you ever heard the band, The World is a Beautiful Place and I'm No Longer Afraid to Die?
Can't say that I have.
Oh, so they're a band that took off in like the indie emo scene, I guess. And my friend Tyler one day just tweeted the band name. And he got a call from his uncle who was like told by his cousin that he was worried about Tyler, and he like called to check in on him, and he was like, no, it's just a band name. Like, no one would even suspect it's a band name.
We haven't even done the worrying lyrics or band name draft yet. So we'll have to remember that anecdote. Yeah, that whole long drawn out latest example reminds me almost of Your New Aesthetic by Jimmy Eat World, kind of letting the boy bands win and everything like that. Yeah. Where do you want to go from here? I'm feeling bad about emo in general. I'm feeling bad about 2000s emo. Let's get some dice rolling, because that way at least we can say that we are heading in a forward motion as far as the episode is concerned.
So, yeah, we're going to do a draft. I'm interested in...
Well, while you're rolling dice, can I just say a couple things about... We're going to mention Fall Out Boy today, but... Not to be like outdone completely, which they were, but From Under the Cork Tree did have 127 words on its back sleeve that stretched across 13 songs, which is still a lot of fucking words, right? Like, I think it became a thing, especially in 2005. We're going to mention Panic today as well. I saw an article by Sam Murphy on a site called Junkie. It featured a Wentz quote. Apparently he said this at some point, but a lot of bands in the past have designed titles simply so that they can fit in DJs' mouths, and we think that's pretty pathetic. So, yeah, I think
damn,
maybe every long song title ever is a little middle finger to put this on the radio. I dare ya, the man. So I think the spirit is there. I think I don't think they're using it to sell more records, although I'm sure From Under the Cork Tree did okay.
And the songs were a huge talking point. Like,
yes, they were.
It was great publicity.
Yeah, so yes, it was. I'd be curious to see all the songs we talk about today, even the ones in the intro, and then sales. And it wouldn't shock me if there was like a ton of the Fall Out Boy ones off From Under the Cork Tree near the top. Is it a bad thing to make it cool? Because then does it become uncool? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah. Now it's everywhere. Warped Toured. It's been Warped Toured and Dr. Hot Topic. So now we're gonna make them really short. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Definitely felt new and real and strange and weird at the time. But yeah, let's roll some dice. I just wanted to, while you were pulling them out of the dice lair that you have at your home.
I'll tell you what, though, if you go the opposite way, I remember our friend Brian Morgancy from back home, who might be coming on the show. He's a pretty famous graphic designer for a ton of the bands we talk about. Most recently doing shirts for Korn and Death Cab for Cutie. But he had an album where every song was only one word and it was all lowercase. And even that got our attention. Like, anything on either side of the spectrum was getting talked about for sure. You had to go one way or the other. And some people went short, some people went hella long.
Well, I don't know if it was a product of like kids growing up chatting on AIM, like the way things were spelled and said, like the written word took on I don't know, kind of a fun new, like, oh, did they use capitals? Oh, did they do this? Are they using gray text in their AIM, profile and everything like that? Maybe it became cool again to not make people read. I don't want to make that like grandiose and douchey of a whole claim, but like it did kind of matter, right? Like when you go to Fall Out Boy's whatever page and it's like, there's ellipses after every song. You're like, oh, Jesus. Okay, here we go. That's how you were kind of laying eyes on some of these bands for the first time, maybe a little bit. So to stand out, maybe that was a trick or something like that. I can't, obviously the quote would imply that they were sticking it to DJs from the get-go, but I'm sure there was a little bit of a shock jock value, or at least, something along those lines, like, oh, by the way, we're very interesting. So something like that. I don't know.
Well, let's do the roll. And before we get started, I want to hear like the way you're approaching this, because
okay. Our parentheses in or out?
In.
Oh, well, hell.
Of course they're in.
Because sometimes the joke is in the parenthesis, and sometimes the parenthesis just adds like a very serious, like, by the way, it's this song after the very. So sometimes like bands use it differently. They'll be like something random and short. By the way, you're the wind beneath my wings as my wings explode into the fiery son of hell, but then I go and we cry together in a car that jumps off a cliff, all that sort of thing. Or sometimes it'll just be like, you are the wind beneath my wings and my wings will explode into the sun, blah, blah, blah. In parentheses, the I Want to Die song or something. So it's kind of interesting. It only adds a few words here or there based on the examples we're going to probably see today a little bit. It's rare that they're both elements are long, but yeah, we'll count them. Why not, right?
All right. So are you going to go like to try to get the longest song names off the board?
Yeah, is this a draft to accumulate the most characters?
I kind of think so, right? Like I have stories for most of the songs I'm going to try to draft here, but are we going for most characters?
Let's do that, and then I'll say let's keep it to 5 maybe, because I don't want to just steal them all. I want people to tweet at _reminiscent_FM and give us their favorites and the best and the weirdest. If you listen to the show, you probably can guess. We'll try to surprise you a little bit with some of these, but let's go up to 5, maybe 7 if we're feeling frisky.
All right. I'm gonna push for 7, but I'm good with 5.
We always say it, and then we ask if at 6 we're like, damn, do we have to go 10? And we're like, no, we're not gonna go 10. And then we sneak out 7. So I'm not surprised you said that. I'm happy you did, because at least there's consistency on the show. Let's start with 1 and see what happens.
All right. Are you gonna go evens or odds?
Damn it. How about you guess?
I'm gonna go evens, and I'll roll. Damn it, a 4 and a 1.
They're fixed dice. They don't want either of us to win, which makes them kind of emo dice, I guess. So maybe it's the most fitting thing possible.
There are no winners in emo, right?
Right. I'm going to pick this one. No, I'll go second and third.
Okay.
Yes.
Because my number 1, I think you're not going to pick it. So my actual number one, I'm going to reserve for my number two. And I'm going to pick a song that is somewhere in that Venn diagram of length and a song that I actually love with all my heart. Give me You Be the Anchor That Keeps My Feet on the Ground. I'll Be the Wings That Keep Your Heart in the Clouds. Nice. Mayday Parade's A Lesson in Romantics. What a fun episode.
22 words, 104 characters. It's rare to crack the 3-digit mark or the 3 triple-digit benchmark. And it's a nice pick. It deserves to go number one. We just did this episode. Forgive me if that's these are released out of order and I'm kind of undercutting us there a little bit, but it's top of mind. The album where they jump, it's so fitting. An album where they jump the shark and don't land on every song. That one of the final songs is still the longest yet, song title wise, on an album where there are still plenty of long songs, and that might not be the only Mayday song that gets picked today.
I know.
So, I love the pick, and sorry, I'm stealing your thunder a little bit.
No, it's funny. So Broadway in 2009 put out a song called Don't Jump the Shark Before You Save the Whale, which I don't think was long enough for this draft, but you saying Jump the Shark just made me think there's another weirdly long song name with that in it. No, but like, yeah, this closes out the album. When we did the draft, I was actually kind of upset with you for saying like the album fizzles out at the end, because it just no. This is why Tom's anecdotes about me being a bad bandmate can't be trusted. That's not what I said at all. It is recorded proof that I said I was at fault for not putting the proper time in. I made no claims about the quality. I made no claims about quality. So Tom is not shy about trying to do some revisionist history on this program. And I'm not saying I deserve the benefit of the doubt necessarily from case to case, but in this instance, I pled ignorance, and yes. But no, in doing the prep for that episode, it was like, yeah, no, I missed out. I had to edit out the part where you said Mayday Parade is literally the worst band you've ever heard in your life.
Is it? After months and months and years of claiming we barely edit the show at all, that's the one you happen to edit out? Dope.
No, like this song is incredible. It's such a great end to the backflips over the shark pit that this album does the whole time.
I mean, we've been talking about too much musical theater over the last few weeks, but a quick quote from Hamilton, not throwing away or not giving away my shot. This shows you how much of a non-musical nerd I am. But either way, they had a chance to be in a studio and they were like, we're giving it literally everything we've got. Yes.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, again, it's the Venn diagram of it's super long, but this song is incredible. A Lesson in Romantics.
Take the key, change it. Take that key, change it.
Speed it up. Now slow it down. Now sing high. Right. Now sing higher. Oh, give the kids
what's half of halftime? I don't know. I'm not good with fractions.
It can't be done. The limit does not exist.
I know. We've gone plaid. Mayday Parade went plaid, and I love them for it. My first pick is going to not be a great pick, but I just want to make a statement with it. And I'm going to pick MCR's Na 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 in parentheses, na 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 in parentheses. And the point I'm trying to make here is that even the short song names were stupidly long. They were so aggressively long for no reason. I'm picking this if only because this one really had no reason to be this long, unless it did. I guess why not, right? Art is art, whatever. But it's just so. We were doing the MCR set list draft mixtape episode like years ago before COVID, and they were going to play that reunion show in LA.
Yeah.
That my sister-in-law was actually lucky enough to attend, which I was really jealous about. But there were some of the early songs that we were kind of looking into and talking about before recording that episode. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of Nas. I think objectively, it's like a lot. It's plenty, So even though this should have been 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 Nas, Tom, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. for 37 characters, including parentheses. Technically 12 words, depending on how you feel about the word nah. I don't know if it'll play in Scrabble. My guess is yes. If my Aunt Colleen taught me anything playing Scrabble, she would always have the dictionary nearby to check. But yeah, they almost 40 characters, just with a couple letters. Magic took place that day. So anyway, that's one of my picks. I don't know if you have any thoughts on nah.
Well, I'm just realizing as we record the episode, I'm making my list of who picked what and when in order to do the playlist for Apple Music and Spotify. This is going to be a cumbersome thing to be typing out throughout the episode.
Yeah, you're going to be doing like a middle school typing class amount of key strokes for this particular exercise. So we'll have to tip your waiters, folks.
I love that they leaned into it with the unnecessary brackets. There's no extra information, just more of it.
Zero context, and it's just the best. Let's do this. Let's just get some of these out of the way, right? I slept with someone in Fall Out Boy, and all I got was this stupid song written about me. It's going to get picked. Progress report, I'm missing you to death. It's a deep album. There's going to be 3 or 4 that you could pick and love off of this. This is an example. Yeah. We did a Fall Out Boy draft recently, so I don't want to go over points that were made too recently. But yeah, 19 words, 89 characters, all a part of that, like we mentioned earlier in the show, 127 words, borderline novella spanning the back of that CD case. So I don't know, do you want to talk about Fall Out Boy for a minute and how much they stuck to the bit on this particular album?
Yeah, it was pretty unrelenting, man. Like, looking at the back of the case, and a lot of it is, I think Vice maybe wrote an article about how, like, Fall Out Boy was no fan of subtlety, and they would just take an entire movie quote and call it the song title because just picking words from the song is so 2003 or whatever. I don't know. Like, I am genuinely curious. I think Sugar We're Going Down, which, you know, they got criticized for having too many words in that song. So I guess that's on brand too. But like, obviously that song was going to take over the world and just make our high school fucking explode when it came out. But would they have had the same staying power if there wasn't this like, I mean, Patrick Stumps' voice is unique. People talked about that. But I really remember a lot of conversation about the length of their names specifically on this album. Because it wasn't just one, it was many.
Yeah, I wonder if it just boils down to them liking movies and being kind of nerdy at the same time as being super cool right. And very talented musicians. It's like, hey, let's do the whole thing. This is an aside that I forgot to include in the intro. Shout out to whoever's named Nikki Satanabus or Satanabus, who created this Spotify playlist called Emo Songs with Long Song Titles That Make You Say, wow, that's a really long song title. It's on Spotify. You can look it up, and it sums up our episode quite well. I really had intended to say that before we started, but
I haven't seen it.
I knew searching it, something would come up, and it did, and it was that. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm looking for as I'm scrolling through my options here. So, yes, thank you to Nikki for your contribution. And I... at some point, we'll probably have to tag weird Spotify playlists on Twitter to verify that is indeed a weird Spotify playlist. So anyway, that's my first and second pick. I'll send it back to you.
Nice. Yeah, for number 2, this is my number 1, but I knew you weren't going to take it. I remember having this conversation. Actually, Adam and I, in senior year of high school, we were in AP Music Theory. It was me, Adam, Liz, and Seth, maybe? We were all just the people that did not belong in this class as all the choir kids were.
That's a good get. That's a good
It was
group.
Awesome. But it was us and a bunch of choir kids who like really took it seriously. And I mean, I did too. It was probably the hardest class I'd ever taken in high school, for sure. It was super difficult.
Which is not a good class to have a bunch of homies in. I think if you have too many homies, you're not going to get anything done. Because then you're going to end up in a study group with them, and it's never going to work. You need a couple strangers, one of them who you're kind of tight with, who works hard to get that group project going. But if you're doing group, you can't mix work in play in that instance, in my experience. Right. So I feel for you on that one, because I think it was made doubly hard on you.
I have a vivid memory of blasting Someday Came Suddenly, which will probably come up in this episode, and the choir girls were just not having it. Not a fan of crabcore, as you can imagine. But Adam and I were talking about super long song titles, and he introduced me to one. I introduced him to this. Someday, comma, in the event that mankind actually figures out what it is that this world revolves around, comma, thousands of people are going to be shocked and perplexed to find out it was not them. Period. Sometimes, comma, this includes me. Period.
Nice. Self-awareness at the end there. I like it.
Which is 215 characters, 38 words.
Damn, you're already beating my first two picks. I tried to get cute with the na-na-nas, but you came to play. You got a lot of character counts going in those picks there.
And I don't know if I mentioned it. The band is the Chariot, which they also have some great song titles. But listen to the name of the album that this was on. Everything alive, everything is breathing. Nothing is dead, and nothing is bleeding. So they are all about length.
Some young folks with something to say.
With a whole
has a record label ever been like, okay, you have a max amount of care. Like, we're not wasting the ink. Like, I wonder if there are early punk acts that are just like mutt, dick lips, just kind of just like, whatever. Just keep it short. We don't want to have to copy it. Our copy editors up all night looking at this crap.
Because, what do you do when you print it on vinyl? Some people try to put it in that little center circle, It's not fitting on there. Things like 3 inches.
It just runs off the label and it's cut off. Honestly, that would be like an artistic choice I think people would get behind.
Oh, but it's a really good song. I mean, it's exactly what you would go to the Chariot for. It does end with like this real uncomfortable voicemail sample, and I hate it so much, but I don't know, it's a really good song. It's just a very good Chariot song. I fucking love that band. And then Give Me There's a Good Reason These Tables Are Numbered, Honey. You Just Haven't Thought of It Yet by Panic at the Disco.
Whoa.
It's a weird song. We're talking about overcoats, hats, canes, and top hats. Panic being Panic. This is on the back half of the album, which got, I think when we talked about, did we do an episode on this whole album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out? Or did we...
No, I think we've just done a few.
Okay.
We've talked to Shane Drake about the video, and we did the video itself
that was awesome.
For the worst part. No, sorry, that's our bands. I Write Sins.
Yeah, you're right. When I was doing research for that, they mentioned that the album was split in two, with the first half being like kind of pop punk, the second half being Baroque pop, which has never described a band more accurately than the way that describes the back half of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. This is definitely in the weirder half of the album. I almost didn't remember it until it got to the chorus. It's just Panic being Panic.
One thing I like about that album is there's also a song called It's Time to Dance on that record. So it's like, It's not even all unnecessarily long. It's just like, by the way, we're just going to throw down on this one real quick. And it is Time to Dance when that song's on, for what it's worth.
Oh, boy. So, Panic. Gotta love them. 2005 was, I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of freedom to experiment with, I don't know, different sounds in the genre. Baroque pop is probably not a way any band that has ever broken through has been able to describe themselves before. So Fueled by Ramen was doing some interesting stuff at the time. Panic at the Disco laid down an album in 7 days with Matt Squire in College Park, Maryland.
You never know what you're going to get with the bands out of Las Vegas, man. There's never like, oh, they're this type or that type or whatever. Or like, I don't know, between all the bands I guess just the Killers, Panic. I guess you could throw in Imagine Dragons or whoever else, of which there are many. But there seems to be no real structured sound. It's just kind of like these dudes got famous. They were able to acquire fame, and they all had wildly different experiences, formative experiences. But yeah, these ones happen to be a little bit weirder. Yeah, I have nothing more to add. I'm sorry. I feel like I brought that to a halting stop.
No, all good. 89 characters, 16 words on that guy. And punctuation. The Chariot song had periods in it. I had never seen a period in
the parentheses, periods, it'll add a couple characters. And, I'm regretting my na pick more and more as the picks go by. Is it back to me?
Back to you.
Okay. No need for introductions. I've read about girls like you on the backs of toilet doors.
Jesus Christ.
Words 16, characters 86. It's a Bring Me the Horizon song, Tom. And it's kind of an iconic album cover.
Yeah.
At least as far as scene Twitter and emo Twitter is concerned. And I would say that the sentiment is accurate. It's just one of those ones you see around on people's 5x5s and everything like that. People, kind of the classic album thing where the girl in the black dress with a nice emo haircut is just holding her intestines right in front of her with a somewhat shocked look in her eye. Right. Between that and the title of this song alone, I don't know if you put it in the Louvre necessarily, but we could call it the Louvre just to make sure. But put this in a time capsule, let the aliens know that this is saying a lot. This song with that title on this album with that cover says a lot of what we're trying to convey through the show about the decade. So I just wanted to make the pick. I'll throw that down. I don't think we've referenced those guts specifically before on the show. Perhaps that's a crime on our part. But yes, Bring Me the Horizon.
Have you listened to that album much?
As much as the ones I talk about every other draft, no.
Okay.
It was not going to be listened to as much as the Fall Out Boy songs I could have just picked for every pick on this draft.
Sure. I figured. So I listened to this album nonstop. This was deep into going to youth group. So I remember being in their little cafe where they charged teens to eat sandwiches at a youth center worth $5 million, and they had teens where I don't know, whatever.
Who was gonna go there and get a panini at an Attack show? You know what I mean?
Did.
No, I know that was your only option. I'm just saying. I remember sitting there, and there'd be the moms or the parents, not just moms, it'd be dads or whatever, but just having a church coffee and donut after party, but it's like a Starbucky panini situation, and everyone's just throwing the down 30 feet into the other room, throwing each other up against theater style seating
through the rock wall basketball court.
Yes, truly bizarre.
Anyways, I love this album. I loved pretty much every song on it. Looking back, the I don't know, does the song title need to be so aggressive? I don't think so, but it's a fun enough song. It's a short one.
How about in retrospect, maybe we just stop writing anything on bathroom stall walls.
Right.
We could probably start there. Except I think the only thing that should ever be written on the back of bathroom stall walls is Toy Story 2 was just okay! Exclamation point. That is the only piece of graffiti I've ever laughed at so hard. And I think if you're ever going to write anything, have it be only that. And just be this one's already taken. There's just one sentence. It says Toy Story 2 was just okay. And now there's no more graffiti allowed. I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that exception, to be quite honest with you. But did you have thoughts on the guts?
I loved it. It's a great album cover. I love that it's still a meme today. I think when the Nirvana baby was suing the band, there was all this stuff about that girl suing him for removing her guts or whatever. Just, hard times being the hard times. It's iconic. It's great. Again, the album is great. This song, it's okay. It's the shortest song on the album, the longest song title. Inappropriate to say the least, including the content of the song, but it was a fun album. Ollie Sykes was, we talked about, it was a while ago now, was there a sex symbol in the genre? I think Ollie Sykes for a minute was probably as close as the scene got to having a sex symbol.
I think Nathan might have brought that up on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And many agreed with him. They were like, yep, that's the one. So
definitely.
Okay, noted. And by the way, the song title was pretty long. I think if you think about it, that's usually... I'm just kidding.
All right, friends, I hope we're all having fun here, but allow me to briefly interrupt and thank our Council of Elders, our top-tier Patreon supporters. In this group, we have Andre Prevost, Johnny Leftwich, Jason Carey, Anonymous, Chris Lukey, Nathan Eshelman, Drew Edwards, Carrie Sanchez, Melanie, and Devin Booz. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. We have had the opportunity to do some really, really fun projects with the podcast because of all of the people financially supporting the show in and Patreon. We are dumping all the money back into the show because it's just so much fun. Why wouldn't you? If you'd like to check out the Patreon, you can head to patreon.com/reminiscent, where you'll find weekly post shows, our entire backlog for like 100 episodes now, behind the scenes photos and videos, and discount codes for all of our merch, including the brand new flash sheets, of which there are only a small handful left. Again, that's patreon.com/reminiscent, and back to the episode.
Anyway, my next pick. I will never write an obligatory song about being on the road and missing someone by saying anything off of Is a Real Boy. 15 words, 81 characters. I think I'm averaging about 82, 83 characters with my picks here. Hopefully I can stay steady and win the race. But I think if you write Is a Real Boy, you can make the song titles as long as you want, Tom, in my opinion. That's where I stand on that one. Thoughts, questions, concerns, hopes, dreams, fears?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super familiar with Is a Real Boy, but I do know this song, again, because it was like, you got to listen to it. It's so long. The opening riff is so sick. I can't quite put my finger on, like, what it reminds me of. But if we're going to talk about a lesson in romantics, we got to say that whole album was more or less a concept album of missing someone on the road. So... And the band even said as much.
Yeah.
We lately actually have been talking about a lot of songs where, the Wikipedia says it's about being on the road missing someone. So I guess it's a popular trope, and Say Anything leaned into it while also making fun of themselves by saying this isn't who we are, but it's clearly what they're doing. Great.
I think they're in their wheelhouse if they're on a bus not feeling great.
Oh, yeah.
And I am saying that in jest to be entertaining on the show. But honestly, yes, right? If they're referencing being on a bus, friendly border drug busts, etc., usually they're firing on all cylinders. So on board with it. I'm just taken aback by that very amazing take about like that song, that whole album's about missing. It's like, yes. What I associate the album with is my sister. I forget if it was The Feudal, but whatever. He alludes to the fact that he was planning to eat rat poison for dinner. She's like, oh, so emo. I'm like, is that what this, I was just kind of like really early on, like, I guess I am because I fucking love this so much. And anyway, yes, that's my pick. I think it's back to you.
Alrighty. All right. I'm going for length again.
So you're saying it's going to be long. You don't even have to keep laughing at that because I don't really even want to keep doing it. I know you're being polite and you're a good friend, but it wasn't funny, honestly, in the intro. And I feel pretty bad about it, actually. I've been thinking about like, did it play? And has committing to it 2 or 3 more times since kept it funny? I thought it might get like, okay, here we go, funny. But it hasn't. It's been bad every time. And you've been truly kind to even react. And sorry to everyone. Sorry to everybody for everything, as always. Yeah. It's over. It's over.
All right. Well, the only very long... So if I'm going for length, it's going to have to be Fall Out Boy. You know what? Or The Chariot, who we've already talked about. Both. Actually, you know what? In interest of keeping the playlist interesting, give me Listen to This If You Love Me, and if you are bored, it's just me singing my head off by Cute Is What We Aim For.
Whoa.
Not the longest. 83 characters, 19 words, but I'm just trying to not have 5 Fall Out Boy songs in a row.
I was going to say, yeah. Another, and I should have saved this for the honorable mentions, but there's another Cute Is What We Aim For song that might still get picked, but I'm doubting it if you didn't pick it yet. But Sweat the Battle Before the Battle Sweats You. Right. Like, I don't know. What the hell, man? What the hell was going on? Talk to me.
I have nothing to say about this song.
Here's a question. Just pause here. Me interrupting you. This is us. We're on the show called Reminiscent. We're just doing our thing. Tom, let me just say something real quick. And I'm leading up to something that won't pay off. But how many times do you think the lead singer of Cute Is What We Aim For brushed his insane side bang swoop emo hair off to the side while writing this in pen in his notepad for the first time? More or fewer than 3 times?
So I had hair that came that far from the side for like 2 days. And that should tell you everything you need to know about how often you're trying to keep that hair to stay. No amount of got to be glued hairspray is going to keep it in place. I'd say probably 5 times.
5. Yeah, because it's not cool to keep it there. You got to just be like, it's just got to hang. For a minute, if you went real neon, I guess, you could put a little like band.
A little headband.
Like
yeah.
Thin band, or a real headband, I
one.
guess, for a time, depending on how pop punky you were leaning into it. But yeah, for a minute there, it was just like, oh, this naturally comes from my ear to my other ear. That's just how my hair hangs. I don't know what to tell you. Breaking your neck. Anyway, yes. Was it worth me spending all that time to set that up? No. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm failing you today. I'm bringing the whole thing down. It should have been my guts on that album cover. Rip him out, set him down, walk away.
Okay, so the only picks I have left are legitimately Fall Out Boy or The Chariot.
Also, I have no grasp on whose turn it is.
It's mine.
Okay, cool.
This is my 5th pick, and then your 5th is next.
Okay.
So give me, since we're including parentheses, the parentheses are probably twice as long as the song name itself. Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying, parentheses, do your part to save the scene and stop going to shows. And I wanted to pick this one by Fall Out Boy, of course. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite song of theirs, but there's like a little snare thing in here that reminds me of like early Green Day, like early 90s, which is always a favorite of mine. But I don't understand how you save the scene by stop going to shows.
It's a good question.
Because like pretty specifically, you go to shows to support the scene. So I'm not sure I get what they're getting at there, but maybe
Can you say it again?
Get busy living or get busy dying. Do your part to save the scene and stop going to shows.
Maybe because the scene's imploding on itself and it needs to be killed from within so it can grow again in a healthier way. I don't know.
We'll call it that. That's the best theory so far. That is 90 characters, 19 words.
It's all about character count, man. I don't think you have to feel guilty about picking one that's not your fave.
Well, thanks, man.
You asked, you were like, how into that Bring Me the Horizon record were you? I was like, a little. Like it's the long song draft. It's not my favorite albums draft. Let's just put it that way.
Fair enough.
Sorry to the Bring Me the Horizon stands that are listening. But still, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying, like, when you were like, so is this one of your dear albums? Like, yeah, in a way. Okay.
Alrighty. Well,
so we're doing 5. We capping it.
Let's do 7. I mean, it's all going to be Fall Out Boy and the Chariot, but I'm down to pick 2 more if you're down to pick 3 more.
It depends if it's just vibes, dude. Is
just
it?
Vibes. Just good
ones. No sadness. No depression.
No
just
saddies. No saddies, no baddies. That's the rules of the show.
Haley Williams has been posting that in her Instagram stories like weekly for like 4 months. And I'm very into it. It's this video of this girl just being like, setting up a camera, walking back, putting her fist in her open hand and saying, no more depression, just vibes. And then that's it. That's the whole video. And it's so like, has become this weird daily affirmation. And I accidentally said it to someone at work the other day. And I think they kind of knew what I meant, which was great. They met me halfway on it. It wasn't like too much. It was someone who was similar in age, but they just laughed. They were like, how much coffee have you had? I'm like, honestly, not that much.
Hey, Mr. Coffee Guy.
I know. You know me, coffee man. I just become a shell of myself and lean into everything. Whoa! Or that thing where Andy Bernard spills on himself and makes Will Ferrell, the boss, laugh. And he's like, I guess this is my life now.
Do it again. Pour it on your pants.
Anyway, sure. So this is my 5th and 6th pick then.
Yeah.
No, did I go 2nd and 3rd? Oh yeah, this week, man. So I'm going to pick the worst part of this tragedy was that I wrote it myself by Tom Kelly.
By 4 under par, you asshole.
By Double Bogey on the 9th, which was a real, what do you call them, a knockoff band or like a
parody?
Fake tongue-in-cheek parody tribute band that played one ska show at like the Iroquois talent show. It was weird shots fired, I thought, for how inconsequential our existence was to them. But whatever. No depression, just vibes. So yeah, anyway, that's not my pick, but I did want to take a moment to discuss that
That song was awesome.
I thought so. I thought it was fun as What I'm saying is we were impacted by the scene around us. I think we admit that every week, but I did want to take at least 30 seconds to say that might have been our longest. I don't know if you remember. We did get like weirdly nonsensical. My cat eats porridge.
Yeah. Shoot him down, Cameron.
There really was no rhyme or reason. It really was whatever we were listening to that month, I feel like. Right. I think we just enjoyed each other's company a lot and liked being around each other, but I'm not sure what our identity was necessarily. The biggest identity was probably the My Cat Eats Porridge era, where Zach wrote a bunch of songs about one particular ex, and that was the best version of the band.
Yeah, totally.
And those songs were really tremendous. They were just coming out of Zach's pores at that point. But anyway, yeah, the worst. You wrote that one. The worst part of this tragedy is that I wrote it myself.
And I don't know if I've said it on the show, but I told you that I was like hanging around. I don't know, like we were allowed to eat lunch in the hallways at our school. Again, on a post show a couple months ago, we talked about how you got impeached as class president. If you're in Patreon, there's like a 25-minute bonus episode about that. But our teachers just kind of let us do whatever we want. So we would eat in the hallways. And I happened to be around some theater kids that were coming up with, I don't even know, like quirky sayings that were like supposed to be this like existential whatever. And this kid, Eric Adamus, he like addressed the crowd with this like intense look like, oh, and he says, the worst part of this tragedy is that I wrote it myself. And I was like, and that's the next 400 Par song. I just stole it from him. And we wrote a really good song. You helped me write the chorus. Not the most well-written song, but it was about being yourself, your most authentic self, good vibes only. And it was a lot of fun. It had a breakdown, had a fun drum part. At one point, I had a mix of the song, and I don't know where it went. But this isn't a real pick, so we don't need to belabor the point. But our band wrote a song that we both loved, and it had a long song name, Haha. What is your actual fifth pick?
Oh, I'll give it to you, Tom. Forgive me for trying to be nostalgic. No, just kidding. You're right. We should have kept it at 5 because now I'm just going through. Let's do this one. Only 9 words. I won't count the characters, but I didn't have them counted for this. But I will pick Petrified Life and the Twice Told Joke, in parentheses, Decrepit Bricks by the Gym Class Heroes. I was listening to Papercut Chronicles the other night, and I hadn't forgotten. I just hadn't revisited it. And at night, I walk these streets with absolutely no purpose, feeling like I'm worthless. It's such a good song. It's such a good album. Travis McCoy just kind of like dumping his high school journal seemingly onto a track, and it was really unlike anything I had heard to that point, but still felt so emo. There's a song on that record where they just like list the names of emo bands, and it's like a really good song still. It's just kind of like this wordplay experiment. And there might only be like 3 to 4 like really, really great songs on that album. I don't know if that's like blasphemous to say, but this would be one of them for sure. And I wouldn't say the song titles are crazy, but they were fueled by Ramani enough. I think on the record he even says something like, this is hot water music, you can cook your ramen in it or something. As like a little bit of a nod. But they would have been around Fall Out Boy and Panic-ish type situations enough to like maybe elongate a song title or two, would be my guess. But I'll pick that just because I was walking my dog the other evening and that song was on. And I was like, damn, this really is really great.
Nice.
So I'll pick that.
Okay.
And I'll pick another one, I'll have you know. I got to do it, man. Our lawyer made us change the name of this song so we wouldn't get sued. 15 words, 71 characters.
Nice.
If only because it might be one of the most underrated album openers we've talked about on the show. Everyone's like, oh, Cork Tree's great. Oh no, which is the best song? It can't be Sugar because that's not the cool answer, whatever. Everyone just breezes right the by. The camera snaps, only liars, but we're the best, only good for, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best song on the album, but it might be their best album opener and I don't know. I just think it's slept on. It should get talked about more. Like, yes, it's a long song title. That's what we're here discussing today. But I kind of just want to do an episode where I discuss about I think you can't love the album as much as you can if that opener isn't as strong as it is, which it is, and I feel like seemingly never gets talked about. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm just like trying to make my point here in this moment by ignoring stuff that's happened all around us for years, and maybe it has. But, perception's reality, and I guess if you are talking about it, congrats, keep doing so, because I think it's tremendous. And the song title is really long, Tom.
Did you know what the original title was going to be that the lawyer made them change?
No, talk to me.
My name is David Ruffin, and these are the Temptations.
Interesting. Damn. Movie nerds.
So apparently David Ruffin, he, I guess, like overestimated how famous he would be. And he wanted to he wanted to change the name to David Ruffin and the Temptations from just the Temptations, how Diana Ross and the Supremes. And the band pretty much fired him for it. And why not? That sounds like a pretty dick move.
It's interesting. When you Google that, the first result is a song released in 2012 by a band called The Pretty Little Kennedy Curse.
Oh.
With the ellipses and everything. So maybe they had a different lawyer, that band. Who knows?
A better one, right?
I suppose so.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
wow.
Fair use at that point. Again, that's just a quick Google. Any research for the show is light Googling at best, but interesting. Yeah. Well, it's kind of made it cooler and better, I think, in retrospect. Maybe it's just because that's what we're used to now, that we've lived with it for 15 years or whatever. But anyway, I was going to go plenty of Cork Tree picks today. I didn't want to make it all Cork Tree picks, but that's just, the way it's shaken out. At least two. Had to go at least two.
All right. No, it's a good one. That's a good pick. Okay, I get two more than you. Wrap it up.
I was secretly hoping that you would have let me keep the 400 Par song so I wouldn't have to double up on Fall Out Boy. But
I mean, I would, except it's not on iTunes, so we can't. Yeah, Apple Music, whatever. It's on my iTunes library, but
that's true. Whose iTunes are we talking about?
Okay, give me. Bone Palace Ballet had some really fun song titles.
I was scrolling, looking through different listicles today.
Yeah.
And I just scrolled right by. I'm like, Tom's going to get it. And he should get it.
Give me The Undertaker's Thirst for Revenge is Unquenchable, parentheses, The Final Battle. Bone Palace Ballet. This is top 25 albums? Top 30 at least? I don't know. So... in 2008, maybe 9, the drummer of Chiodo's left or was fired or whatever, and they kind of announced that they were going to maybe be trying to do tryouts for the band. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try out. Because I wasn't going to go to college. My mom was like, if you don't go to college, your band's not going to make it, whatever. So you're going to be no one and be a loser, yada, yada. So I thought if I'm in Chiodo's,
that sounds like the opening scene in a really good music movie. Yes. Or anything. But yes, if you work for Comedy Central or Adult Swim or anything, give us a show. We'll make an emo show. I just want to make a show that has an opening scene where Tom is working at PacSun, or a character loosely, not so loosely based on Tom, and a customer walks in asking him about an upcoming show, and then tries to imply that he's more hardcore of a straight edge kid because he has drank before and stopped. And that's really all I want in this life, is to make that pilot. It doesn't even have to get picked up. I guess we could just make it now.
We've got decent iPhones.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe we'll just make it and put it out there.
Which was a true story. This was probably the most into the neon era I had been. 2007, I had the Mayday Parade hair. Or I was going for it. I couldn't quite get it that long. But anyways... yeah, that was a true story. But with my last two picks here, I forget how we even... oh, no, sorry. I'm still talking about Chiodos. So
we should change the name of the podcast to I was still talking about Chiodos.
So I really wanted to audition for the band. And I just I remember the very first song I tried to play was this one, and I just couldn't do it, and I was like, it, they're not gonna accept me anyway. So I gave up. I gave up one chorus in, and somehow I don't know if I posted it on Facebook or something that I wanted to try out for the band. I came into youth group that week, and the the youth worship leader was like, "Hey man, I know this can't be true, but there's been rumors that you got you got accepted into the band Chiodos." And I was like, "Absolutely not." Like, that was a thought I had that I gave up on 90 seconds later. So anyway,
the optimism and ambition of being a teen. I remember when the gymnast Sean Johnson was in the Olympics one summer. I was at James McCallion's house, and he's one of the music Sherpas we talk on the show. And we were like, "Hey man, she's really cute. What if we just moved to her town and like enrolled in her high school and tried to say hello and just say hi and to be too shy to do so or something like and we really we're just like, yeah, we could move to Middle America on the off chance an Olympian would say hi to us." And I just we were joking, but it's kind of like you were like, "I'll be in Chiodos. Let me just try to play the song." Oh, what? Nope. And so in a similar way, we just looked up where the high school was, and we were like, "Yeah, okay, we're not going to move to I forget if it was Iowa or whatever." But it's like for a minute there, you're like, anything is fucking possible today because I'm a teen and the day is young.
I was so convinced I was going to marry Haley Williams. I was ready to throw my life away to follow that Warped Tour and just get a chance to say hi. Because if she could only get to know me.
The other part of that, I think we've all had that. Somebody on a recent AMA on YouTube asked about celebrity crushes and everything like that. Like everyone's had that thought.
Yeah.
But what I also love about both of those anecdotes is how quickly we just gave the up on both of those dreams. It's like, oh, it's wildly unrealistic. But for a split second, for so much hope and real belief, and to be like, you know what? I'm not going to be in Chiodos. I'm not going to move to Iowa. Never mind. See you later, James. Anyway.
No, the trick is you need to convince James you're not going to go, so he gives up, and then you turn around and go.
Yes, indeed.
Throw him off
I did try to unenroll from my high school and go back to Iroquois to graduate from Iroquois. And my mom called the office and had them stop the paperwork. Things were in motion. I don't know how in motion they were. I just walked in and be like, "Hey, can I have transfer papers?" Just trying to be all catch me if you can about it. And they were like, "Yes, those papers exist, but we know you and your situation." And we're like skeptical, but like, sure. I don't know. It was definitely interesting. My mom picked me up and was like, "I've undone everything you." It's like a call must have gone to someone and gotten back to her before the school day ended because she was like, "I've undone everything you've done, and that's all I'm going to say." And yeah.
That's a good mom move. I
don't know what my plan was. I assumed the credits would have transferred. I did not think that out very clearly at all. Just like, you know what? I'm going to go back
2 weeks
and let
from
me graduate.
Senior graduation.
Yeah. I just want them to let me walk because this place.
Oh my God. Well, okay. Give me one last pick here.
Oh, by all means. I think I have some. One more?
You have one more. Yeah.
Sure.
So I could go. There's 3 potential Chariot picks. There's Seosin, there's Cobra Starship, and there's Hello Goodbye.
We should do.
Which one should I go with?
It should be the Cobra one.
I don't know. Like them that much.
You came prepared. You took the Mayday one from me early, so then I was going to rely pretty heavily, but you were one step ahead of me all day today. So the picks I was going to try for with Panic at the Disco and oh man, I'm losing my train of freaking thought here. No, pretty much I didn't want to double up, and I ended up doubling up on Fall Out Boy anyway and just ruining the whole episode. But
yeah,
I will say the win.
I did too.
This is how I feel today. But damn you, quote, "You be the anchor that keeps my feet on the ground, and I'll be the wings that keep your heart in the clouds," end quote. Damn you. No, I will say well played today. You've been one step ahead. So you can pick whatever you want. I think you've earned it because you have outplayed me on this day. And I'm sure on the character count level as well.
Yeah, I think my first Chariot pick might have bought me some wiggle room. So give me a band we've never talked about before. It's not the longest one, but just trying to get them in on the main draft. This is actually when I was in that AP music theory class telling Adam about the Chariot song. He told me about this song I'd never heard before called "They Perched on Their Stilts, Pointing and Daring Me to Break Custom" by Seosin. off of Translating the Name. Super heavy intro, a really weird riff, then it goes into clean guitar, a really sick drum beat. Easily could have made the drum draft, and a rare fade out as the intro to the song. So lots to talk about there. It's interesting. I was listening to, it might have been 2006, like the Beatle album, as people called it, thinking like, man, I've never really given Seosin a fair shake, but like somehow I knew every song on that album. I don't ever remember listening to it, but I remembered every song somehow. Yeah, we got to talk about Seosin more.
Yeah, that's how I felt about Mayday Parade, A Lesson in Romantics, when we revisited that. I was like, oh, I know all of this. Like, I was like, oh, man, I'm only going to know half. But it's like, nope, this tracks. I must have spent some time listening to this, at least. Is it my turn?
Yeah, last one.
And with that in mind, I'll just pick, if you wanted a song written about you, all you had to do was ask.
Sure.
15 words, 65 characters, just with them in mind, because I was so pumped to re-jump that shark with them recently with you. That was a ton of fun. We'll run through the honorable mentions very soon. I just wanted to lay the pick down and get to the honorable mentions. But yeah, you whipped my ass today, and I'm not even mad about it. I'll virtually shake your hand. And but yeah, well played, masterfully done. I will say the only difference between martyrdom and suicide is press coverage.
Yeah.
And lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off. Should have been picked by me before I even picked a Fall Out Boy song. And then my second Fall Out Boy song, and then my second Mayday Parade song. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, lest we forget that Panic was up to the same ass shenanigans that Fall Out Boy was. Like you said, their album is kind of like the Baroque pop stuff comes a little bit in the second half, but they definitely let their freak flag fly a bit on that record.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Every bit of it. Well, do you want to blast through honorable mentions and then?
They were like, yeah, we'll blast through. But they said, they swore to shake it up if we swore to listen, and we did, and they did. So what are you going to do?
I guess I'll tally up the characters to see who actually won here, because I've been keeping track as we go. But yeah, let's do some honorable mentions. Give me Pretty Soon, I Don't Know What, But Something Is Going to Happen by Norma Jean off of Bless the Martyr, Kiss the Child. The song is 16 minutes long. Really good song. A good portion of it is instrumental, if I remember correctly. Fun drums. Bass guitar's real barky. Pretty much everything you go to Norma Jean for is in this song.
There you go. Give me a Static Lullaby. Half man, half shark equals one complete gentleman.
Yeah. Sorry, still typing.
No, you're good. I'm just saying, like, re-looking at all these are what these are what Joaquin Phoenix's Joker character has scribbled in his notebook, all these sentences. This is just nonsensical gibberish. And at the time, I ate it up with a knife and a fork.
So, Send My Love to the Dance Floor, I'll See You in Hell, parentheses, Hey Mr. DJ by Cobra Starship.
Yep. There's going to be the same Cobra Starship people that are going to be mad at us for the Snakes on a Plane episode are going to be mad at us for not picking that song. And that's, you know what, after re-experiencing the Cobra Starship experience, I'm pretty okay with it. Apologies to Gabe and the crew. This is another, like, I wrote this other Fall Out Boy song down just because I was really doing the research. And, like, if I did want to play the game well today, I should have just stuck to them. I've got a dark alley and a bad idea that says you should shut your mouth. But I think competitive-wise, if you would have just stuck to Fall Out Boy songs today, you would have done pretty well. If it was all about the character limit, I know we want to make the show interesting, and that's what we try to do every week. But, yeah, if it was just character counts alone, that should have been a bit. One of us stuck to was just Fall Out Boy picks today.
Right. Oh, you know what? That song has parentheses, summer song. So it's even longer than you thought it was.
Yes, correct. I saw that and almost didn't believe it was true. But yes, that is, you're right. My apologies for the omission.
Amazing. All right, give me Oh, You Are the Roots That Sleep Beneath My Feet and Hold the Earth in Place by Bright Eyes. This is a song Hannah really loved. I wasn't a huge Bright Eyes fan, but this song got a pass from me.
Yeah, you've been mentioning Bright Eyes a lot on the show lately. You've been mixing in a little bit of...
Well, so because, like, that's my argument for, like, is Newfound Glory emo or is Bright Eyes emo? They can't both be the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like they, in your mind, there's some serious. If nothing else, Bright Eyes lives in your brain to draw boundaries between indie and emo and pop and everything. Right. And
they're my North Star.
No, honestly, I'm very intrigued by that you hold them, that you never really loved them. And neither did I guess necessarily like we all knew the same songs everyone else knew. But as kind of like from the outside, it wasn't super our jam. But it's really interesting to like just picture them, your thought process being like, okay, a little Bright Eyesy. That's a little Bright Eyesy. If that's that, maybe this can't be that. I don't know. I'm very fascinated by that.
Oh boy.
I'm all out of honorable mentions. When I said we should go 5, I was more of an editorial note than a light, playful suggestion. But yeah, that's pretty much what I had written on the doc.
All right. Well,
damn you, Mayday Parade.
I'll just kind of go through them. Roads That Don't End and Views That Never Cease by We Came as Romans. I love this album so much. More Chariot, The Bullet Never Lies, and Time Will Poise All Things, parentheses, an allegory of unfaithful Jerusalem. Really fun drums, tambourine. I wrote, goddamn, I love the Chariot so fucking much.
Just the word allegory is longer than most Blink songs.
More Chariot. It's usually the boys who cry wolf that grow up to be the men who cry sanctuary. This was on.
It's a good long one when you have to stop and be like, there's a second part that I have to say differently because I didn't realize how much more there was. You're like, okay, nice.
Give me the only thing worse than being. Oh my God. The only thing worse than beating a dead horse is betting on one by Reliant K off of
That's a good one. Yeah. Damn, that is a good one.
We Are the Union. You can have this microphone when you pry it from my cold, dead hands. Good one. Really, I don't know, punky song. They talk about shut down basement shows. This time I refuse to be silenced. This time I refuse to give in. Not my favorite chorus of all times, but I never skip this song. City Lights had one. This is 2011. This kind of is very reminiscent of Fall Out Boy. I made a song on GarageBand and all I got was, oh my God. I made a song on GarageBand and all I got was a lousy record deal. So that's a fun one. And then that's it. That's all I got. I fumbled through every one of those.
We came as Romans, they came as horses, but we all ended up as glue. I'm just kidding. That's nothing. But man, there's been some nonsense on the show today. But it's delightful. I'm so glad that these words were put together.
Yeah.
On albums with people holding their own fucking intestines right in front of them. And with a nice dress. You think it was homecoming or something. I don't know. But anyway.
Oh, wait. Did I pick? Wait. Oh, no, I did. Did I? Wait, no. Did I say Shimmy Shimmy Quarter Turn, Take It Back to Square One by Hello Goodbye yet?
No, is that your pick?
No, it was just another honorable mention. I don't remember if I said it or
yeah,
not.
I saw it on some of the listicles, but that's when I Facebook messaged you, actually. I think that was the example where I was like,
interesting.
How much weight are we going to give to these parentheses? Because that one was kind of a mid one. But then also, I don't remember, like, the reason I asked was because Fall Out Boys and Panic at the Discos and some of them, and Chariot, everything. Sometimes they're just fucking long, right?
Right.
That one is like Shimmy Shimmy Quarter Turn, which isn't long, and then the parentheses is kind of an explainer of the chorus. So it's almost like the label was trying to help the listener identify it. It wasn't like them making an artistic choice or something. It didn't feel like. Maybe it was. I don't know. But like, that's kind of why I asked, because I'm like, this doesn't feel like it was long for the sake of being long. So you're right that the parentheses was separate from what that example felt like reading over it again for the first time in a while. But anyway, that's kind of was my thought process. I'm like, is this a long song title or is this just they're trying to help people find it in iTunes or when they search or whatever, like early SEO or something?
So the song that we played at the end of one of the post shows, Everything Is Fleeting, it was originally going to be called Can't Quack Forever. In parentheses, Everything Is Fleeting. And the song was just going to be called Can't Quack Forever. But then after the recording was done, everyone thought I was saying everything is bleeding. So I was like, okay, we need parentheses to let people know what the fuck I'm saying. But then...
Interesting.
when Ryan Dunson came on the track, then we were like, oh my God, so this is going to be Can't Quack Forever, parentheses, everything is fleeting, parentheses, featuring Ryan Dunson, a Rookie of the Year. Like, we just can't do that. So we just changed the name of the song to Everything is Fleeting.
We could have just done like I'm the One by DJ Khaled featuring Justin Bieber, featuring Chance the Rapper, featuring Quavo, featuring, you know, like there's so many, if features were allowed, this would have been entirely different. The fabric of this whole show would have been different. But
oh my God.
Yes. Well, this was fun.
Well, I am at the moment tallying.
I know we missed some. Let us.
I'm sure.
Tally away.
So I'm tallying. I am copying and pasting each of our picks with a single space betwixt song titles here. So
we'll get a few extra characters, but it'll be an even amount of extra.
It'll be 6 extra characters, yeah.
But for each of us, so it's not like unfair or anything.
Right. Okay, so if you just want to keep talking, I have some work to do.
I was going to say, I never see the dice get rolled, and I can't really confirm for real that Tom's doing this on the up and up. But I guess I'll just have to take his word.
I got to let myself just lose every other time, so throw off the sentence.
Keep me honest. I was just going to keep drawing that sentence out. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take you to copy and paste everything, because I don't know. I mean, you're really going to do it.
Still working on. I'm getting there though. Only one more.
If you're
going to
let me win, feel free any week now.
You won this week.
No. Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh. I thought you meant with the character count.
Oh no, you hella lost.
No, I meant for the shows in general. You've been kicking my ass in drafts lately.
Okay, so Pat, your character count: 101 words. 489 characters, including spaces. Okay.
That feels like a loss.
Tom, pat on the back, old chap. 136 words, 725 characters.
Yes. Respect. I think if one of us would have had the perfect draft, we could have hit 1,000 maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
If we weren't trying to tell stories and weren't trying to not double up or anything, I think we could have hit 1,000. But that's tough because not that many of each song is over 100. You would have needed way over 100 with just a 7-pick draft to hit 1,000. And there's only so many. You're the wind beneath my wings, but then my wings are also wind, or whatever that May the Parade song is called.
Right.
Interesting.
So this is actually really interesting, though. CharacterCounterTool.com gives all of these metrics. It says that my readability level is college student, while your readability level is college graduate. Now, I was about to give you that win, but on mine, the number of difficult words is, okay. So it's 34 difficult words, but it's only 25% of the total amount there, whereas yours is 27%. I've got 2% more unique words, but in 5% more long words. So I'm really curious why mine is college student while yours is college graduate. Maybe petrified has something to do with it. I'm not sure. Anyways,
this feels like you looking into any number of things in a way more detailed manner than I do. Let's give
a song of the week.
It's like, Pat, do you have thoughts on why this thing? It's like, I don't know. You've been thinking about it for 40 minutes longer than I have, to be quite honest with you. Why does this random word counter think I'm less educated than you? I don't know. I feel like you're reaching. For a reason to be upset about something today, Tom. I think we can just let the character counter be what it is.
Is it because you graduated from a legitimate university and I graduated from a for-profit scam?
Relax. Yes. What I have to say about that, and with all due respect, is relax. Okay. Do I have a song of the week? Maybe.
Hit me with it.
Maybe I will.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I just might. No, for real. Give me Simple Times. I don't know. I'm still split on the new Casey Musgraves album. I was like talking to my wife. I was like, maybe I don't like it. And she was like, why is John Mayer are men only allowed to be sad? And I was like, that's fucking fair as hell. So I'm giving it more of a chance. And it's, it's pretty solid. I know Casey's a good songwriter, whatever. But yeah. Right. She was like, you literally have been listening to an album called Sob Rock for like 4 months. Like, you're just going to listen to the Casey album once and be like, nah, this ain't it. I'm like, yeah, hey, you know me. And that's fair ass criticism. So I will indeed give this album additional chances.
So talking about Seosin, I've been watching Bo Burchell's live stream. He's a mixing engineer, recording engineer. He did Moose Blood and Seosin stuff. And he was working on a band called Ways Away that put out a new song a couple months ago at this point. Speaking of kind of long song titles, and For a Moment, I Don't Want to Die. It's a very, very good song. Super fun. He says Rochambeau. And it's good stuff. Really into it.
I like to say Rochambeau.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, I hope you all had a great time on this super long song title mixtape draft. You know the rules. Make sure to hit us up on Twitter @_reminiscentfm to scream at us about all of the amazing songs with super long song titles that we missed. There's always something every week we did horribly wrong, and we count on you to let us know. Please stick around for after this song here in a few seconds to hear the world premiere of The Worst Part of This Tragedy Is That I Wrote It Myself. Thank you all. Love you. Bye, everyone.
Yourself, so get your shit together, be your own cornerstone, and tell your so-called friends that they're on their own. Take back or calculate. Take some time, sit down and get it straight. You're pissing everybody off with what you wear, so finger to the world like you just don't care. I wanna be the kid who streaks around the block, who stays out with his friends till it's 6 o'clock, and throwing shit and trap until the break of dawn, and be the one who takes shit out of people's lawns. Get back like you really, really want to. On track like you really, really want